All right, for GunShow June number 2, we're going to do a self-postural assessment. As noted before in the prior post, the posture is the number one tier in the arms month because, of course, posture affects the way our arms immediately look. Not to mention, of course, all of the effects of poor posture and the benefits of good posture. So we've done postural checks before. We're going to focus today on our upper body. And here's what you're going to need. We're going to need a wall at some point. We're going to want to have either a mirror in front of us or a phone in which to take our own photograph, or someone who could take it for you. We're going to want to be topless for men. Women, just take off your shirt and barefoot, okay? Because it's a visual cue, a visual check as well, all right? So very first thing is we're going to check our standing posture. So instead of feeling like, oh, I'm going to do a posture check, so let me straighten up, I want you to really just stand as you normally would, okay? Because this is a real situation assessment, and that means we're just gonna wanna loosen up, shake it out, shake up your arms, your legs, and just sort of relax everything, and then stand in front of the mirror or get your camera ready. We're going to just be checking ourselves in a few bodily landmarks. Let's start with the easiest one first, just to check the position of your thumbs. Are your thumbs pointing straight ahead, okay, or are they internally rotated? Meaning the thumbs are facing each other because your shoulders have internally rotated and have brought, your hands and of course your thumbs with it. So that forward rounding of the shoulder is a very common issue that we really want to get rid of. Now, we also want to check as you're standing, just gonna get closer so you can see. Check the tip of your nose as if you have a straight line. Imagine a straight line to see if it's bisecting your sternum. We also want to check our clavicle, this bony area here, and to see if it's level, okay? So not necessarily straight, but that it's even. And for men, if you can't quite tell, you could use your nipple line, okay? So that's just for men, obviously. So that would be your frontal check. Now you're going to turn to the side and take a look at your earlobes. So when you take a look at your picture, you want to check that the earlobe is bisecting. Okay, I'm kind of moving like this, so my shoulder's moving forward, but you want to check that the earlobes end up bisecting the top of your shoulder, okay? You also want to take a quick look at your thoracic spine, which is this black area of my bra right here, okay? And see that it's not excessively rounding forward, okay? Again, that's the main source of why your shoulders are rounded forward, if that's the case, okay? Then we're going to take a photo of your back. And we want to check to see that our head is in alignment, okay, that your ears are not tilting or rotating. And then check the bottom of your scapula, if you can, to see if that it's level, okay? If you cannot see these bodily landmarks on yourself, don't worry about it. Just check what seems the easiest for you to check, okay? This is not a comprehensive assessment. It's a self-check for you, just to make sure that you are aware, that you're self-aware of certain things that you might want to focus more on. If you have a very pronounced deviation, you're likely already aware of it or have been diagnosed. So, this is not to call out any issues in terms of, oh, this is, horrible. But we just want to know whether you want to have a special focus on the mobility and the postural exercises for the month, because we are going to have a quick posture drill in front of the compound moves, in front of the isolation moves. So it just lets you know if you want to spend an extra couple of minutes, maybe on a separate occasion throughout the day, to help work on that. Okay, so that was your frontal view. I'm sorry, I had one more thing. When you're checking your frontal view, check also the distance between your arm and your sides, between the two sides, and see that the distance is the same. Okay, because that would indicate either one side is higher than the other as well. So again, none of these if we're not trying to make everything 100% symmetrical, it's fine if you have some deviations. We just want to do what we can to start, right? And it doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily have a dysfunction, okay? But my biggest concern actually is if you have a pronounced forward rounded shoulder, more than anything, for the purposes of this assessment and for the month. Okay, all right, so now we're going to take it to the wall, and again, without forcing yourself, you just want to see if you could get the heels to the wall and touch your bum, get your shoulders back, and see how easily the back of your head also touches the wall. So if you have to force it, like jam it to get it against the wall, then that indicates it's like forward rounding, a forward neck posture, and I kind of have an issue there, but I already knew that. And then remember, you're just trying to have heel and upper back and the neck, okay? And you know, if you're trying to jam it and you're jamming one side more than the other, that's another cue. Just self-awareness is always a good thing. Now, what do you do with this information besides, like I mentioned, you know, you want to have some special attention throughout the month? Here's another thing that we use the self-awareness for, because any amount of self-awareness that we could increase, and the mind-body connection. Remember in the last post for the Mage Brain Train, I gave the tip of just switching sides of things that you're doing on a repetitive basis, right? So a lot of times where our repetitive movements are tied to our jobs, we can't do everything, change everything around. But anything that you have control over, so my big thing for me is I have a ginormous, iPhone, whatever, 11, and once you put the case on and everything, it's quite heavy and large, and I'm always holding it on my left hand, and I already know my left side is the issue. So what I want to do is see if I could keep, fight through the discomfort and get used to switching over to my right hand, at least at times. So I took that awareness. I remember to order a different a finger hook thing for the back of my phone, because mine's been wonky for a while now, which has been one of my issues. Okay, so little things like that, any little 1% tweak that you can make throughout the day and consistently over time is what's going to help you, right? So do your posture check and let me know if you have any questions, and or any what you find that you thought was interesting. Okay.